engineer? Any art engineers out there? Are you? Awesome. Okay, so I trademarked that, so you better not be an art engineer. So I'm an artist. And today we're going to talk a little bit about storytelling and how to make art of your podcast. So this conversation is about the art of podcasting. In the art world, much like in podcasting, there's a lot of shop talk. And we don't focus about the soul and meat of the matter. We focus more on the medium. And that's fine. But what I want to talk about is more about the soul at the center of podcasting. Not the mic, not the editing equipment. Let's talk a little bit about the subject, the excuse, the passion, dare I say. Now, when we say the word passion, it gets a little dangerous, right? It's a little woo, and in 2020, it's lost all its meaning. Like the word awesome. My shoes are not awesome, right? The Grand Canyon is awesome. So let's not use that. Because when we say we're passionate about something or that we're podcasting about something we feel passionate about, we feel naked. Which as podcasters is something you can totally do. It's a perk actually. So I'm an artist, like I said, right? I podcast about something that's visual, something that's meant to be seen. Talk about getting off on the right foot, right? But obviously that doesn't matter, but it could have been the perfect excuse not to podcast. I'm from LA, I was raised a few blocks away. My middle school friend is right here in the front row. But I ran to New York as soon as I could because I thought that's what artists were supposed to do. Right? As a matter of fact, I was conditioned to identify myself as an artist. As a child, all the way from kindergarten to high school, the teachers were like, what are we going to do with this dyslexic, left-handed femboy who's as round as a hand and kind of parentless? I've lost a little weight, but what are we going to do with him? So from the back was like, art, give him a crayon, say a prayer, send him off. And well, it worked. I've been blessed. Art became my life. Art became the life raft that I held on to. It became what allowed me to flourish as a person. In New York, my life was no different. My journey was ups and downs, occasional plot twists, but all set to the background of a place that I've always wanted to be. I married the love of my life. I had exhibits in Europe and Latin America, across the country. What else could I ask for, right? Podcasting was not on my radar. But then Anthony Bourdain died. And I was like, huh? All of a sudden, a huge void opened in the cosmos for me, where there had been connection, now seemed cold and empty. Through his work, through his exploration of people, places, and food, he made the world a better place. For me, anyway. He made me feel less of a stranger in a polemic world. But did you hear what I said? Through his exploration of people. Sure, the show was about food and travel, but at the center of it, at the passion, the excuse, were the people. And that moved me. So that night in 2018, when he passed in June, I went into my husband was asleep. Yes, the teachers were right. I went into my husband was asleep, and I went to the restroom with my phone. I had seen an ad on an app that allowed you to start podcasting with your phone. No mic, no editing equipment. Just start talking, bless you, as if you were making a phone call. I thought, I could do that. Dyslexia or not, right? So there on the floor of my bathroom, I started talking to myself, and the conversation began. The conversation that I wanted to have was about connecting with people. I wanted to talk about art, and I wanted to talk about travel, like we're doing, right? I wanted to talk about how I had just come back from Colombia a few weeks prior, and I had brokered myself a solo show right on the spot. I didn't know anybody. I called the gallery, showed them my work, and they're like, sure, have a show, right? The art connected us, regardless of borders, language, demographic, age. That was important to me. So that was the impetus of how I started my podcast. I wanted to use my identity as an artist to do that. So what's the impetus of finding your subject, your excuse, your passion to podcast? If you haven't already, because, I mean, if you've been here all day yesterday and you didn't come with an idea, I'm sure you have a few now, right? I mean, look at your resume. Sorry, I'm a bit of a bully, right? Resume, don't look at your resume. It could be a nightmare. Fine. Look at your browsing history, right? Bingo. You're into cosplay? Sure. You're into Japanese horror movies? Exotic fish farming? Whatever. Sure. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be genuinely you. And that's where the gold is. If you can talk about something for hours on end without getting bored, you know you're on the right track. When I had a studio and a gallery in Brooklyn, it was at the center of about 100 other studios. It was glorious. It was full of lights and full of windows. And if you've ever been to New York, you know this doesn't come easy. I was completely blessed. I had an amazing deal. The artists that would rent studios from the company, that same company subsidized my gallery, my studio. So I had a sweetheart deal. But in exchange, I interviewed these potential renters, and who were all young, straight out of art school, and some of them had just arrived to New York specifically for art, just like I had. It was a loaded moment because these were young artists about to take a leap of faith, not sure what to do, but knowing that they had to do something, they had a calling. But I mean, imagine having to take on a second rent in a place like New York for a young creative. No joke, right? Having to justify a second rent to your parents, your partners, having to rationalize a second rent for what might seem like a glorified hobby. Podcasting, anyone, right? So it was loaded. And one thing I often did was resort to storytelling. One story I often told was from a movie. You might have seen this movie, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Remember it? It was before Indy met the aliens, but after the monkey brain soup. And if you've seen it, you know why I'm saying this. In the movie, and if you haven't seen it, come here because I'm going to give it all away. In the movie, Indy's dad, played by Sean Connery, gets shot. And the only thing that can save him is a drink from the chalice of eternal life. And it's so close. In order to get it, though, he has to go through these heavily booby-trapped trails. Luckily, he has a guide, kind of like me for you right? And in this guide, which is in the shape of a book, there's all these messages of how to get through the booby traps. The first one says something like, repent and you shall pass. And he thinks, repent. When people ask for forgiveness, they get on their knees. So he gets on his knees, and a battery of guillotines appear over his head. But he gets through okay. The second one says something like, walk in the name of the Lord and you shall be blessed. And there's these tiles with like letters on the floor. So he steps on the J to spell Jesus. And it crumbles under his feet, revealing a bottomless pit. Then he remembers, oh, I had to spell like in Latin or some holy language. It's really intense, kind of like signing a second lease. So when he gets to the last booby trap, he finds himself on the edge of a cliff, facing another cliff with a door. Yes, the chalice of eternal life is through that door. But how is he going to get through? He looks through his book, and the book says something like, only the faithful shall cross. And behind him, you can hear people say, Indy, hurry, your father's dying. And he's made it his mission to save his father's life. He's made it through every other obstacle. What is he going to do? I mean, you've made it this far. You've overcome every other obstacle. You're at podcast movement, evolution. What are you going to do now? Well, our hero clutches his book to his chest, takes a deep breath, and takes the leap of faith. Then what? Well, his foot lands on a plank that had been there the whole time. There was a bridge, y'all. There's always a bridge. But it was faith that allowed him to see it through the darkness. Right? So he crosses the bridge, gets the chalice of eternal life, saves his father's life, end of movie, roll credits. But why am I telling you this? Am I here to sell you on faith? Am I here to tell you to believe and everything will be okay? Yeah, kind of am. But more to the point of my story, more to the point of this talk, is that it was about something bigger. It was about the things that moved me. It was about what made me want to connect with others. Was it about art? No. It was about something bigger. Art was the excuse that allowed me to talk about faith, about journey, about trust, about danger. Art allowed me to be this little book for these young artists across their bridge, kind of like you're doing right now, right? No matter the subject, the excuse, the passion, it can manifest in many ways without losing its message. Ultimately, the best way to convey an idea is through storytelling, right? In podcasting, storytelling is a huge component. But relax, you don't have to be an amazing writer, you don't have to be a novelist. I'm going to tell you the only thing you need to know to tell a really good story. Are you ready? I think this is key. Shut up. Shut up and pay attention. If we shut up long enough, we start connecting the dots. And we realize that everything connects to our subject, that everything can connect to our passion. When I hear stories or see things like hoarding, for instance, I immediately think, wow, what great collage material you might have, right? These are all my collages, by the way. When I see corrupt politicians, not that that's a thing, I think, what great political art I could be doing about this, and plaster all over the place. I don't, but I should. Not that cool. But we need to shut up and pay attention. Because if we've learned anything this past 2 days, is that this podcasting business is not a sprint, right? It's a marathon. And this marathon is trained for year-round and in silence. But the good thing is that there are tons of people on the sidelines all cheering you on, like me. And we all have our own stories to tell. Just listen. There's some crazy statistic out there about podcasting. A lot of people don't make it past their 8th episode. 8th, sure. That's easy to understand, right? When you first get started, you can talk about anything for hours on end. But how many times can you say that you love something or that you're really excited about something before it gets stale? You know me for 8 minutes. What am I going to say? Endless ways, right? Endless ways. If you follow your passion, and at this point it needs to be your passion, it needs to be said and owned that it's your passion, because your passion will get you through your 8th episode, to your 90th episode. I need to be basking in the glory of your passion. Because if you follow your passion, and here's the rub, lead with curiosity, you will never get bored. Now, we all know what it means to follow your passion, right? We've seen the memes, drank from the mugs. But what do I mean when I say lead with curiosity? Lead being the operative word, as in the vehicle. And curiosity is in the GPS to how you're going to get there, how you're going to get to your passionate conversation, to your passionate content. No matter the subject, the excuse, the passion, there are endless conversations to be had. One thing I like to tell people when they're running low on ideas is to think of their top favorite 20 movies of all time. I'm from LA, I like movies. And throw in a pickle, or throw in a cat, or throw in a car, whatever you're podcasting about. Throw in a pickle at the plot of each of those movies, and you have a well of endless ideas. What's this pickle doing in Hogsworth? I just thought about a bunch of ideas for episode on a podcast about pickles. Episode 1. Enchanted pickles and briny love spells. It's not all intentional. Don't like magic? Fine. How about the MCU? If the Avengers were pickles, what kind of pickles would they be? And who would play the gherkin? Thanos? That's all I know about the MCU. How about for the romantics out there? Episode 3. In The Notebook, what if Duke told Allie their love story, not through letters and journals, but they're all pickle recipes? Kimchi, anyone? I mean, these are ridiculous ideas, and I'll stop there. But each one of them are fertile ground for conversation. How ridiculous you want your podcast to be is completely up to you. But have fun, right? You know my podcast, I'm proud of my podcast because it's a craft. It's a craft to arrive at your voice and activate it. My show, Studio Confessions, is a sarcastic, arty conversation that's both self-helpy and hostile towards our social condition. But it's all genuine, and it's all under the guise of art. If you take anything from this conversation, it's that your idiosyncrasies are what will make your show a work of art. Take it from me, I'm just playing one on the radio. I am an artist. And that's what art is. The genuine expression of our experiences, no matter how mundane or how extraordinary. Your idiosyncrasies are what will propel your strokes of genius to create a masterpiece. How about that? Who says artists aren't pretentious, right? So I'll leave you with this. Be like Anthony Bourdain. Take the journey, but come to the table hungry and curious. Be like those young artists. Don't scuff at your dreams. Give of yourself generously to arrive at a podcast that's genuinely you. Don't be afraid. Take the leap of faith, but do your research and take it back. In the beginning, for your podcast to have legs, for your podcast to have longevity, it needs to be a work of art. A work of art that's made by following your passion and leading with curiosity. So think for a minute. What's your real subject, your real excuse? What's your real passion? My subject, my excuse is art. But my passion is this, talking here with you guys. So thank you, that's it. Now it's your turn. Do you guys have any questions about pickles? Thank you very much. There's some swag in the back if you guys want some for your Valentine's Day. They're not pickle stickers, which I really wanted, but they're stickers and fun. So help yourselves, please, and enjoy your Friday.